Estamos de volta com o segundo bloco de O Produtor Quer Saber, que hoje recebe Clay Hamilton, ele que é conselheiro do Departamento de Agricultura dos Estados Unidos, falando sobre segurança alimentar. Clay, what are the experiences that United States can share with Brazil and the opposite, Brazil can share with United States, increasing the production of food?
I think it's important to understand just how much in common the United States and Brazil have. We produce a lot of the same crops. We both have very large farms. We have very well-educated agricultural communities. And so we also have a lot of the same issues that we have to deal with. A lot of the same diseases that affect crops, a lot of the same animal health issues, the same pests. And so
the weather,
exactly. So we're pretty much partners in many cases. Our Ag Research Service, which is part of the U.S. Department of Agriculture, has over 300 joint research programs with Brazil. We just had a very useful conversation last month between our people at Ag Research Service and Embrapa about ways that they can improve their ability to share information.
Our dialogue.
Right, that was the genesis of it, and then we continued on after that. So it was a very good catalyst for us to start that conversation. We have a lot of information on new types of varieties, new types of science to produce varieties. Brazil has a lot of the same experiences, and so it's very important that we share that information and build on it so that we can move forward. One other area that we have in common is the use of biotechnology. We're probably the two largest users of this technology in the world, and it's very important that we keep in mind the possibilities and continue to explore this technology so that we can meet the demand. The United States, and I know Brazil, we don't believe that biotechnology is the only answer. We think it's one answer, and it's one answer that we can work together to expand. But we need to look at all of our possibilities. At the conference today, they're talking about organics. There's a lot we can learn from that sector. There's a lot of conventional methods for breeding that can be useful. So we need to really be working together and look at all of our options to see how we can improve production.
Perfect. And what about the competition between the countries? For example, sometimes one country wants to sell more food than the other one. We have enough demand for all these countries and in all the world. But why does it happen? Why there is so much competition between the countries?
There's always competition when it comes down to the effect on somebody's income. And every government wants their farming sector to be strong and that the farmers to have a good income and have a good life. The thing that's important to remember is with agriculture, you never really know what you're going to be able to produce because of all the impacts from weather, disease, and other things. So it's very important that we have good trading relationships among countries so that if we're short on corn one year, we can buy corn from Brazil. And actually that's happening the other way. This year, Brazil, because of their safrinha, needs additional corn, so they're looking to the U.S. So that ability to fill in those gaps is very important. The other side is just the further processing. Between the United States and Canada, for example, the live cattle, when they're young, may come from Canada. Then they're fed and grown in the U.S. and slaughtered. And then they may go back to Canada where they're processed into hamburger meat and then sold in the United States. So with all of this cross, you add value in each country. In Brazil, you have the opportunity to do that as well because we have some products that you don't have. You can import them, add value to them, or mix them with things that you do produce, whether it's in pizza or desserts or other things, and then add value to your consumers. So what we've seen demonstrated in many, many cases is the more trade there is between a country, the more the population as a whole benefits. It's better for the consumers, it's better for the producers, and it's better for the processors in the middle.
Perfect. What are the advices that you give to the producers and for the government of the countries to guarantee enough food for the population of the world?
In the discussions today, they talked about ethics, and that's something as far as ensuring food security, enough food. That's something that everyone has to be aware of. It starts at the governmental level. The government needs to ensure that they're doing what they can to get adequate food, nutritious food, to the people that needs it, whether that's in their community or if it's in another country. And I know Brazil does that, the United States does that. It also it goes down to as far as regulations, making sure that they're transparent and enforceable, communities, and even the people who need the food, making sure that they're sharing and that they're working together to take advantage of opportunities.
Perfect. I don't know, Mr. Clay, if you know that theory made by a priest called Thomas Malthus, that he said the increasing of the food in the world was growing in PA, and the increasing of the population was growing in PG. And later, this theory of him, some scientists showed that it wasn't right. Do you think that now, with this increasing of the population, this is going to happen in the world, or no, there is no risk for us?
If you look back at history, the agriculture sector has been very good about meeting the challenges. In the 1900s, 1910, 1920, population was growing very, very rapidly, and agriculture went to mechanization in order to meet the demand for more food. In the 1960s, we were running into a situation where population was growing faster than food supply.
Yes.
That's when we started using hybridization. And actually, Dr. Norman Borlaug was very instrumental in the Green Revolution, which helped create new strains of wheat to feed India and Pakistan and other parts of Asia. So that put us back ahead. So we were producing more food than we needed. Now we're getting to that same point where population is growing faster than the production of food. And we're looking for that next big boost that will put us over the top. And there is no one thing that we found yet. Biotechnology has a lot of advantages. Right now, because of the varieties that we use in biotechnology, are more toward environmental and cost and other things rather than increasing production. But we're looking at ways to increase production, drought-tolerant crops. And then, we're looking at other ways to better use water so that we can increase production without wasting water. So there's a lot of things like that. The other area, and this is something our Secretary of Agriculture is advocating, is food waste. We waste a lot of food, particularly in the developed world. And so we need to see what we can do to make sure that we don't lose as much food, which will create some space, as the population continues to grow.
Perfect. Conversei então com Clay Hamilton, que é conselheiro do Departamento de Agricultura dos Estados Unidos, que esteve falando aqui no Produtor Quer Saber a respeito de segurança alimentar.